Матрешкин, Матрешкин, это просто цитатник вообще. Убыло от тебя, убыло. Ширше, просто ширше. Изначально ширше, не потом, а вот прям, понимаешь, да. Да. Деньги нету, потому что деньги нету. Деньги есть. Это уже мужская задача получается, да? То есть если деньги внутри семьи против всего остального общества. То есть, да, понимаю. Бабе не место, короче, да. Это уже не очень безопасно и не очень адекватно, и это уже, да, понимаю, да. То есть я тебе говорю, все это как бы одно и то же. Да, ну нет, это да. Нет, я это давно сказал. Просто, да, просто вы все ничего не понимаете, я это давно сказал, понимаете? Давай. Это лишь только частный случай, запомни это, да? То есть болезнь любви, уродство там, что там, болезнь любви, вот, да, понял, да. Да. Ну это он, да, логика больная. Ну, я тренирую просто так, тренирую себя, да. Ну да. Просто даже интересно. Ну это как бы челлендж на самом деле. Ладно. Спасибо, Рена. Что надо, Глеб? Холодно.
Да нет, ты чё, тут столько снега выпало, вообще все рейсы отменили, и на самом деле еще работы навалило.
Папочка, не скоро.
E-oral trainer, recognizing the style and period of a piece of music for grade 5 ABRSM oral. The four main periods which you will be expected to identify are Baroque, Classical, Romantic and Modern. And
Нахождение, припождение. Вот это было. Да. Мушкины, мушкины. Напкин. Напкин. Just a little bit, just a little, just a little bit. No, really. Не хранится самочинным. Час протонет вместе сейчас и пьем.
and each of them have distinguishing characteristics which you will learn in this video. Baroque music was very elaborate, often with many ornaments. The melodies would be difficult to sing or memorize, and the harmony was created by individual voices conversing with each other, known as polyphonic harmony. Because Baroque music was originally for the harpsichord and not the piano, the dynamic range is not as great as in later periods. And also the keyboard was shorter, so very high or very low notes were not possible. Regarding dynamics, these tended to be terraced, that is to say, that crescendos and decrescendos were not used. There were more sudden changes in dynamics.
You want an emotional melody? I got you. You want a dark melody? I got you. Expensive plugins are killing your music. Let's face it, if your melodies and chords aren't good, no one's gonna like your music. These plugins won't help you, but songwriting will. Click below to get access to thousands of memorable melodies and unique chord progressions that have generated me millions of streams, as well as 50,000 producers, songwriters, and artists. They're making music like clockwork with instant inspiration on demand. Let's show you examples of the melodies and chords I'm giving you inside the MIDI pad.
Classical music, on the other hand, was much more refined and simple. The melodies could be easily remembered and sung, and the harmonies were generally made by a tune with simple accompaniment, known as homophonic harmony. Phrases were clearly defined and regular. The idea of crescendo and diminuendo also came into use during the classical period. In the Romantic period, melodies were still singable and easily memorable, but the intensity of emotion was much greater. Harmonies became richer, texture thicker, and the dynamic range much wider. The tempo was much freer, and the use of the sustain pedal was now very prevalent in this
Без
period.
тебя уже заметил,
And
да?
finally, modern
Гендель тоже
music,
добавил,
that is
Гендель,
20th
да.
and 21st
Гендель,
century
короче,
music,
да.
is
То
easily
есть, ну,
recognized
Гендель, Гендель,
by
это
its
всякий был. Гендель тоже
discordant
один,
use
да.
of harmony.
Гендель тоже один был.
And finally, modern sustain pedal was
Ну, нет,
now
он себе
very
такого,
prevalent
да.
in this period. And finally, modern music, that is 20th and 21st century music, is easily recognized by its discordant use of harmony. That said, 20th century music also includes jazz and impressionism, the latter being the style of composers such as Debussy, in which the music often has a blurry, misty feel, giving an impression of something rather than a dramatic picture of that thing. Here now are 5 extracts, and see if you can identify, with reasons, from which period each one comes. This extract comes from the 20th century. You should have noticed the bluesy melody and harmony, giving it a jazz style. The piece to... And see if you can identify of music, the latter being the style of composers such as Debussy. That said, 20th century music also includes jazz and impressionism, the latter being the style of composers such as Debussy, in which the music often has a blurry, misty feel, giving an impression of something rather than a dramatic picture of that thing. Here now are 5 extracts, and see if you can identify, with reasons, from which period each one comes. Century. You should have noticed the bluesy melody and harmony, giving it a jazz style. The piece is actually called jazzy. The end section particularly features swing rhythms and is more discordant than one would find in previous periods of music.
Пишешь, что ли? Ну ладно.
This extract is from the classical period, where a simple melody with homophonic harmony is used. There are very regular and clearly defined phrases, and dynamics also were graduated rather than terraced.
Перейдя на удаленку, мы пытались сделать все как в офисе.
Романтик, барайк.
This extract comes from the Romantic period. The melody is more emotionally intense. Harmonies and textures are richer. There is frequent use of pedal, and the tempo is very free, with the music exploring a wider dynamic range. This extract is from the Baroque period. There is frequent use of ornaments. The writing is polyphonic, with elaborate melodies and terraced dynamics. The practice of separated notes in the bass line is also very characteristic of the Baroque era.
Демид такой не писал. Демид любишь? Прилизано будет, причесано будет. Я видел.
Our final extract is also from the 20th century, although very different from the first extract. It uses discourse to a very dramatic effect. You could almost imagine this music as film music. Now, you should have film music, the dramatic effect. You could almost... It uses discourse to a very dramatic effect. You could almost imagine this music as film music.